Roger, how are you? My name's Ben.
Hello, thank you.
A question I have is more so around a technical element that came from the lead developer of Bitcoin ABC, in that of pre-consensus, and obviously, I guess a little bit of a debacle that's followed on since that in the development community, at odds with each other, especially that of Craig Wright and nChain. Have you got any comments around, what you think about what's going on in the community there? And, do you have a side that you sit on in terms of, do you support pre-consensus or not?
So my answer is kind of similar to the last answer. I feel that my opinion on this matter isn't so strong and so well informed that I want to have a really, really loud vocal opinion about it. But if one side starts trying to censor the other, which I don't think can happen with the way the communities are set up at the moment, but if that were to happen, then I'd speak out a lot more forcefully. But my general thought is that the Bitcoin that we've had for the last almost a decade worked really, really, really well. And zero confirmation transactions have been good enough. If we can make them even better, that's great. But I think a pretty good general rule of thumb is if something's not broken, don't fix it. And as someone who's been using Bitcoin in commerce for almost 8 years now, BTC worked great up until maybe, 2016 or 17 when the blocks started to become full, and that destroyed its usefulness in commerce. And then the replace by fee stuff also damaged it. Bitcoin Cash right now is working fantastic. I haven't had anybody double spend me on anything. And the first seen, first safe rule, which was the original rule on the Bitcoin network, I think is a pretty good starting place. That's not to say that there isn't room for improvement, but you better make a really, really, really strong case for why the improvement needs to happen if the system that we have already is working pretty darn good.
Awesome, awesome. And a quick question. I'm not sure if you know, but yesterday we had the ever controversial John McAfee on as a live stream like yourself. And of course, there's the famous prediction of 2020, what the price of Bitcoin may be and whatever he may do, depending on the price. Have you yourself got, any predictions for us or any, activities that might ensure if something happens?
So predicting the future is really, really, really hard. I did make a prediction in regards to that sort of thing back in 2011. I said that Bitcoin would outperform gold, silver, the US stock market by more than 100 times over the next 2 years. And it turned out I was wrong. It took like 2 years and 2 months for it to do that. I would be absolutely stunned if at some point, if BTC stays on the same core or same path that they are now, of intentionally making the network be congested all the time, which causes unreliable, expensive confirmations on the network or unreliable, expensive transactions. If they continue on that path intentionally, which it seems like they have every intention of doing, my prediction is that they absolutely will not be the top cryptocurrency in the future. And I don't know if it'll take 6 months or 6 years for that to happen, but it's so clear for anybody with any sort of business sense. If you have a choice of a bunch of different products, and one of the products is fast, cheap, and reliable, and the other product is slow, expensive, and unreliable, it's just you can use all the name calling and censorship you want on the internet, and personal attacks and non-arguments that we see going on from the BTC camp every day. You can use all those sorts of non-arguments you want, but at the end of the day, the public is going to use the cryptocurrency that's the most useful to them in their lives. And a cryptocurrency that's slow, expensive, and unreliable to use isn't going to be the one that's the most useful to the public. So I would be absolutely stunned if BTC remains the top cryptocurrency, if they continue on their same misguided path of, not only full blocks and the high fees and unreliable confirmations that they cause, but the censorship and name calling that they're busy doing on the internet as well.
Thank you for your time, and thank you for your adoption of cryptocurrency.
Thank you for being a part of it.